Well, hello. It's a beautiful Saturday. I can't believe how beautiful it is. I'm down here now at the camp, and I thought today I would do a little bit of uh, show you what tools that I acquired over the last few years, just to get to this point today. A lot of planning, uh, a lot of research, learning, going to get the proper training, to do this right, to do it proper, and do something that I've always dreamt of doing. So it's an amazing journey so far. So I have tools that I thought I would love to have and use, and I don't plan on stopping timber framing after this built. I'm going to continue timber framing, and uh, on my where I work now, that my department was approved with specialty construction, uh, special projects in timber framing and log building is my SME. What that means is subject matter expert. So there's I've been watching a lot of the YouTube videos on this what people use, and that's awesome. I don't believe in what there's a right way or wrong way. I believe in a preference, and that's what people prefer to use, and that's awesome. It's use what you like to use, and what you're gonna do with your tools. There are proper tools, yes, and proper way of using them. Safety is always number one. Know your tool, know your limits as your level of knowledge. It's very important. I don't advise anybody to jump straight into a project without knowing anything and thinking that they're going to, you know, um, do well at it. A person could, uh, jump into a project and learning. It could be very expensive learning. You could ruin your tools. You could hurt yourself. You could hurt those that are working with you. There's proper ways of working. Our bodies you can only push your body to its physical limits, and it's how your body is structured. Are you strong enough? Are you mentally prepared to start the project, to go through the project? Because yes, we have plans, but those plans are a guideline to what that structure should meet in its standard codes if you're doing it professionally. As if you're doing a cabin like what I'm doing, I like to build it the best way possible so it's structurally sound and safe, because we need to think about all the things that goes into the building, so a person can truly enjoy it, and knowing that you're safe and from the elements of the weather, and basically that's what we need to be mindful of. So you start from, I always say a strong foundation is required in life, and that you could apply that to anything, your job, the way you live, your building. Of course, you need a strong foundation. So I'm I'm going to show you my tools, and then I'm going to start get going on the layouts I have today. I've been busy helping an emergency management team from the nation that I'm from. We have a fire up there, and it's currently going. The weather has is supposed to get really warm. That's where I've been for the last 2 weeks, is helping my community members, nation. So with the emergency team. So I wanted to you know last weekend. I like to put a video out every week and keep going. But sometimes, you know, priorities have to are in place, so you got to set your priorities according to what's asked of you, and as you know, uh, be a good citizen in society, right? So we all need to get together on that. So all right, all right, let's get going on let's on the tools here. So I'll show you what I have, and I'll do my best to explain uh, what I'm going to use them for, and hopefully I get that for you. So there was a question, what where I got my plans. I'll show that to you on this video. So stay tuned and let's go check out these tools. Okay, well, I got a number of saws here that you know, we use these 7 1/4 for basic carpentry. So that's a 7 1/4 saw, common. The next size up is 10 1/4. This is a 10 1/4 Makita, and then we got 16th and 5 or 16 and 5/16 timber framing saw. So I have that as well. And then of course we got the hand saws. There's a crosscut saw, and then there's different. Uh, Crosscut is be this way, and end grain for when you cut this way, it's harder to cut into the grain. So we have two different types of saws. And of course, I when I get on my own and doing, I've been picking these up, Japanese saws. So there's, I had bought these a few years back and anticipating. So I'll be using that for various projects. So, and then I got the chainsaw mortar. I used it out in I used one very similar like this for when I took my timber framing course. I I was taught how to use it. So I had picked this up, probably a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago. So it's still new. I just been saving it. It's still all wrapped up new. There's the oil that goes with it. I think it's still in the back of the truck, or it's here someplace. All right. And then of course here's my crosscut saw you saw me using for making the pilings, right? And so that's just a crosscut. You don't cut lengthways, ripping. Yes, rip saw. So it's not designed for ripping, it's cross-cutting only. So that's what I'll use. And then let's get into some chisels. I have acquired chisels over the years. My very first chisel I bought was this 2-inch old school chisel. I really love it. It's the kind that has the round edge as opposed to a straight edge. And so, and then I bought this 3-inch timber slick chisel. You know, nice big chisel. And then of course your 1.5 inch. You can tell it's was well used. These chisels are specialty chisels. I used them for log building, and so this is where I was. I took a log building course with the Biet Schwaller, the unbeatable construction, Canadian made with a Swiss precision. His name is Biet Schwaller. You can see him on reality TV reality show Timber King. So I went and got my training with him. And so I start picking up chisels. I bought this one in a grad sale, I believe, years ago. It's 1.5 inch. So, but then I bought these as a set. These are Robert Sorby's. So here's just a corner chisel here. I don't, you know, I will probably, you know, put that to use, of course. And then here's a 2-inch chisel. Maybe I should go this way. And then I recently bought these last year. These are the bar specialty tools. Here's the slick, beautiful chisels. And then I bought a 2-inch, 1.5 inch, and then a 1 inch. And then there's these chisels. I got a lot of these different types of chisels. I always carry this one in my my tool pouch. So what we use these for, I use them for, you know, when we do the scoring on a rough cut, when we do our, that's a different type of you know, system, but we like to score our cuts first before we put the chainsaw to them. And so of course, yeah, when I do get into that log building, I can show you, you know, at that time how that works. So I always carry a few of these around, hatchets. This one's a carving axe. And then of course we got this, this is you check your tenon. This is a 2-inch and 1.5 inches. So you slide that over your tenon, make sure it's going to fit into your mortise. And then here's another old school. This is one of those. I tried looking that up. It's what is Henry Broke, B-O-K-E. Yeah, I cleaned that up. It was really rusty. Just, you know, just to have around. Of course, we have our modern drills that we're going to use for doing pigs. So and then we gotta have the plane our wood. So this here, I've been using this. This is a very old. This was rusty. I cleaned it up, and I know there's nothing wrong with it. I have new ones, and this is my oldest one. So I sometimes put that into my pouch when I'm doing work, and so I'll be using that up to help clean up the tenons and whatever else I have. This here is an older style. This is I don't know the particular name, but as you can see, you can get right down into the corners, as opposed to these. You can't get into the corner, but this one here you can get into. Again, cleaning up the very corners of tenons. And so I use this one. This is what I'll be using when I start square rule on these 8x8s. So I have this 12-inch Makita. That's a big planer, so I'll be using that at some point. And then when we're working, it's always good to wear ear protection, you know, and when we get up, you know, start putting in, working, having timbers above our heads, it's always wise to wear a hard hat. And I'll be using clamps of all types at some point. Ladders, you gotta have some ladders. This is a 10-foot ladder extension ladder, 4-footer and an 8-footer, you know, to help you on the job. I used this here in the last video to get these 8x8s onto where they're sitting now. So you got to have a winch system. I have several. I got 12,000-pound winch I put on my truck, and I have other winches that I use. I have one that gas winch where you can actually hook it up to the tree, and it will winch you a lot closer to wherever you need it. And I have that at home. Okay, let's talk about squares. I see I didn't put my 2-foot framing square out here. It's over there. So anyways, I have these. It's always good to have squares and then in different types, whatever, you know, whatever you like to use. You know, I like to have a variety, you know, different things. And we will be using this to check the depths of mortise and stuff like that. And of course, you need to have a measuring system. I have a 200-footer, a 100-footer, 50-footer, 30-footer, and I have a 16 someplace. And so you see, my son and I, we were using this when we squared the diagonals on these pilings. And of course, you need a leveling system, the standard levels, 4-footer, 2-footers, and then the 12-inch. I think this one's 8. And this here, I've seen these used. These are a plumb bob, and you just tack this up on the. Let's say this post was upright, and it's a corner post. You just put this down, and first you find the center, put that centered, right? Put that centered, hit that, and attach that. It will attach this to that, and then you will drop this and find a mark down at the bottom of the post, and you do that on one side and the other side, and that's way you can level your posts out. So I have a couple of these, you know. There's things, if you know, you see some power tools, you see a lot of hand tools. Sometimes you'll get into the situation you can't get the power, so you still got to figure out a way to do things without that. So like years ago, when timber framing, you know, they didn't have power tools, they just had hand tools. So you know, you can still do it that way, and it just takes longer, right? So and then you got to have a maul of some sort to, you know, beat these timbers into place, you know, not destroy them. But it's I see a lot of people using the big wooden sledge that specifically to so you don't dent mark up your timbers. So, and it's a good idea to I will make one at some point. But when we did log building, we used these huge sleds. But that was for pounding the ridge beam into place. So you know, that's what we used then. Those logs were pretty big. So, and then here's my pouch. This is what I use. I have several hammers, nail puller, knives. That's all in my pouch, and various tools that I put in there. And then we use some structural screws. I used the 8-inch for on the pilings, like right there. So that's what I used to put the 6x6 together. And then knee pads. Both of my knees are both knees I had blown each of them over the years, so I have to be careful and keep working and work smart. And then this is my tool bag, and I use whatever I want to put in here. You know, what I think I'm going to use for the day, or whatever job I'm specifically going to do. And then here's more drills, and then whatever I need. I have all the chargers. I have my generator, you know, set up. I'll show that to you. And I got various different types of bits and stuff like that. And here's what I'll be using when I will be doing the pegs. That's when I get this floor system. You got to use a hardwood peg when you do pegging. It's they're stronger than softwood. So there I'll be using these. And then here's my toolbox. Again, whatever I decide I want to use, you know, put that in there. Of course, you're gonna need sawhorses. These I made these years ago. They're old, but they're still around. And then of course I have a video making these sawhorses, stronger sawhorses to do the timber framing. And then I have these ones here as well. They're a clamping sawhorse. So you can put your here, and then you can step on that, and you can and clamp your work down. Okay, well, just going to show you one more thing that I'll be using, because I'm going to be using the planers. So there's my generator. It's an awesome little generator. I love it. It's a good generator. Okay, well, there's the tools, and of course you got to have different materials so to get the job done. Okay, so then I've been picking up Douglas fir for braces and sawhorses. I'm going to make more sawhorses, and then over there is my scaffolding. So I'll be putting those up. Oh, I shouldn't forget. I got this genie here. When I get higher, I'll be putting my beams on that, and then lifting them up and putting them into place. Okay, so and of course you see me with my scaffolding. That's when I built that other structure, and then I still have these. I'll be using these as well. So once I get this cabin built, I will be putting another structure back here for a wood shop. As I should know, my last little idea didn't work, so I should have just started building timber frame one. Okay, all right, it's a beautiful day. I want to get busy and show you the next process here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to square these up. So what I want here is square to, I got to square one of these up. So I'm going to go along this here. This is going to be the north sill. So I'm going to pick one of these that are relatively pretty square, one way or the other, and choose the best square. So far it looks like it's right here. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to mark it where it needs to be worked on, and I'm going to do that for all three of them. And then once I do that, I'm going to cut them to a length which is 20 feet. And then after that, I'm going to do my layout for these three. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Such a beautiful day here. I'm enjoying it. Okay, let's get busy.
Waking up in the flower bed, the sun is up, table set, we eat and drink. Body and bread, blood and wine, there's a time to live, time to die, and a time to be. Slow down and listen for a heartbeat, with everything in motion. Say a word, hold a hand. Life is not the sum of what we plan, but the in-between. This miracle of human life and the body and time that we occupy, it is all together sacred. Slow down and listen for a heartbeat, with everything in motion. Oh, here now, see the beauty that is woven in every single moment. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. Tomorrow's still a mystery. Don't worry about what you wear or eat, just stop and smell the roses. Nothing here is guaranteed, but the love surrounding you and me, it will hold us together. Slow down and listen for a heartbeat, with everything in motion. Oh, here now, see the beauty that is woven in every single moment. In every single moment. Slow down
Is doing my layout.
and listen for a heartbeat.
It's every two. My joists are going to be every 2 feet on center, all the way down. So
Here now,
this is going to fit into a pocket. I'm probably going to do probably a small dovetail into the sill going this way. So this is going to be 4 inches in, and so I centered this center line on this grid earth, I mean, and then I'm going to have notch out pockets on this sill, and here probably 3 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that on both sides here, and then the same here. And so I'm going to do that all along down here, so when I put this out in its final and put the end sills on, everything will come together as it should. So the plan didn't have this middle girth in it, so I as you can see, it's the 16 by 20. It needs something in there. You can't have a long span, right? So I'm going to fix that up. So it'll be 8-foot span here. So out of 6x7s. So that's what I'm going to.